Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to go over the fact that silver crossed $100. That is a milestone that a lot of people were waiting for, not necessarily thinking it would ever happen, but today, bam, it happened. Last time I checked, silver spot was at almost $104. Amazing, totally amazing. So if you were smart, back on March 19th, 2020, silver was selling for $12.12 an ounce spot. Hard to believe. That is less than 6 years. So a $12.12 investment 6 years ago is basically worth $104 now. This is a bar, beautiful silver bar. I don't know if you can see that. Hard to tell. That is 1 ounce bar. Beautiful 1 ounce bar. This is, you can tell, a silver panda. This, I believe, is a proof. It's in like the kind of case that you would put a proof in. And the shine and luster to this coin is just amazing. It is beautiful. You can see that. Beautiful panda coin. This is a 2018. So I'm guessing that if you were to buy a 2026 panda coin, if spot is 114, then buying that coin might be around the 120 range. But if you were to try to sell a 2018 panda, I'm guessing this would be probably $130 or more. So that's a nice thing if you want to invest in silver. It's not only the cost of the silver itself, but there is a value to it as far as collectors go. And if you took this to a coin store, you're probably not going to get, you know, much more than spot. But there is a market where, especially like on Amazon or a place like that, where these type of collectible items sell for more. I do question whether or not is it safe to sell on it, or not Amazon, but I'm sorry, eBay. Is it safe to sell on eBay? Is it possible that a buyer might buy your silver coin and say it's not real? And then can they send you back, return it, and then send back a coin that's not silver? That I don't know. I've never tried to sell on eBay. If you have and you know how that works, please let me know down in the comments, because that is something I'm very interested in finding out. I do know they sell stuff on Amazon as well. I'm not sure how that works either. But as of right now, a lot of people are taking their coins into the shops. And then I also heard that some of the shops now are placing limits on how much you have to turn in to get money for them. So I'm not saying all shops, but I have heard that some shops are making you turn in possibly like $5,000, which is crazy. And then I just saw a local auction that said that they are trying to auction off coins on Friday, that they have a lot of people that are ready to unload at this price. But then also people are saying that Robert Kiyosaki is saying that it's going to go up to 200, which a lot of people predict where it's going, where it's going to end up. I think the main thing to keep in mind is diversify your portfolio. There's nothing wrong with hanging on with a couple of these, just in case things go south. It's nice to have another way to possibly exchange for goods if that ever happens. It'd be nice to have a few of these on hand. But if you're one of the smart people that bought tons of this back at $12.12, then obviously you're probably cashing in and maybe paying off your house or holding on until maybe it hits 200. I have heard some people say that they are taking profits, so they're cashing in about 25% of their silver portfolio, and then as it goes up, 25% more, and then so on and so forth. I do hear a lot of people say they got stuck with a lot of silver because the last high quite a long time ago was $50 and then it went back down, and so they sat on it for a long time. It just depends what your investment strategies are. But yeah, if you bought this, well, actually some people bought it at 50 and then it dropped, so they were just trying to wait till they could get their money back, recoup their money. So yeah, it depends on where you enter at, but if you just want some to hang on to, I guess the price really doesn't matter. And you know, at this point, I don't think it's going to go back to $12.12. I mean, it could, but that would be shocking. And if you wait for it to drop, it could double. So it's really hard to know where to hop in at. But I did check the US Mint probably about a week ago, and you were still able to buy some rounds because they had locked down the silver dollars. And that day, like the rounds were around 90 bucks. I didn't buy any, and then I went back and checked the next day and they had locked those down, so you couldn't buy anything for maybe a day or two. Then they came back and hiked the price up on everything, so that I found. So the Eagles were selling at like $167 to $170 for one silver Eagle. A few people said that's just because they were low on supply. I don't know, it's shocking to think that they went from like 90 bucks to 170 range. So I don't know, maybe that's a sign of where it's headed. Not sure. Maybe they just don't want to. I mean, I think by law they have to offer silver. I'm not sure the law dictates the price they have to sell it at, so maybe they're hiking up the price just so they can hang on to it. That's a possibility. So yeah, get some silver, at least a couple rounds, so you have it on hand in case you need it at some point. And I'm sure you probably know this, but back about 5 years ago, I picked up a box of Kennedy half dollars and searched through the entire box, all the rolls. I came up with one half dollar that was 40% silver. So there are still some out there. That's not a lot of money. I looked it up today. It claims that's worth $18.71. I didn't have a lot of time to research that to verify if that's the case, but it was a lot of work to only come out with $18.71. And obviously back then it was like next to nothing. So I kind of felt like, that's probably not worth it. But if you have free time on your hands, you're retired, you have nothing better to do, sure, get coins, search them. That's a great hobby. And you never know what you're going to run across. I just watched a video the other day where a kid found a penny. I forget what year it was, but it's the pennies that should have been zinc that came out copper. And so I think it was going to auction, and they were speculating that it was going to be $10,000. So you'd have to research that. But yeah, it happens. You might run across the right thing and end up very wealthy. So I'm sure a lot of people are probably going to pay off their house now with their windfall from 1212 to over 100 bucks. Insane craziness. Can't believe it. But yeah, Nixon took us off the gold standard in August of 1971. So we've been a fiat currency, not backed by gold or silver. So times are changing, and I really do think our currency is gonna change to something else pretty soon. So if you haven't really looked into that, maybe you should, but that's a whole different video for another time. But anyways, I did want to tell you this crazy story. So I ordered something off of Amazon. It did not come. It was supposed to be in my mailbox 2 days ago. So I got a hold of them on chat, and they said, well, it was left in your mailbox 2 days ago. They said, check with neighbors. I'm like, well, I'm kind of new here. I don't know the neighbors. I can't really go do that. And they said, well, hang on till 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Get back to us if you don't have it by then. I'm like, well, if I don't have it now, how am I going to have it then? Well, lo and behold, someone's like honking in my driveway about 10 minutes ago, and it's a neighbor that has my package. Almost at the exact time, Amazon says, hold on, and before you complain about this package. So are they really that tuned in to how people function and operate? Because if you got my package 2 days ago, how would they know almost the exact time he's going to show up at my house honking, giving me my package. I thought that was pretty crazy. But anyhow, check out my video, my first video on my recipe, so you can feel better. It is such a great mix of stuff that you can eat every single day. Get in all these nutrients, vitamins, and start getting some energy that you might not have had up until now. Check it out. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Yay, 100 silver!